Welcome once again to Jazz Lockdown, the programme that puts our regular panellists of Pete Long, Alan Barnes and Alex Garnett to the test. You are invited to donate as little as £1 towards each show, which will be equally divided between the contributors, with 50% of the total amount going to Macmillan Cancer Support by following the PayPal link below. Chaired by Alyn Shipton, this episode's special guest is Iain Ballamy.
Well, welcome to the final edition of the first series of Jazz Lockdown. Thanks to everybody who's actually donated and contributed. We made a great contribution to Macmillan Cancer Relief and bought a few bars of chocolate for ourselves. Now, I'd like to introduce the regular panellists before we get to our special guests. So, wearing the Sherlock Holmes deerstalker, Alan Barnes.
Hello there.
Captain of All He Surveys, Pete Long.
Ahoy there.
And just dropped in from the streets of Paris, Alex Garnett.
Hi, bonjour.
And our special guest this week, Iain Ballamy.
Good afternoon, fellas.
Hey, man.
What happens now, Iain, is we do a little introductory round for everybody, and then we do some old stuff, then we do some new stuff, some pictures. You get a special round as the guest, and you've got to beat Ken Poplawski, who scored a complete 10 out of 10. So We'll see how we go. Right. Pete, we're going to start with you. And this kind of picks up, but not quite, from where we were in one of the questions last week. So which American big band toured America in 1999 to celebrate Ellington's centenary and performed Sweet Thursday that year at Monterey, the festival for which the piece was originally written?
Would that be the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra?
Strangely enough, it wouldn't. So have another go.
I didn't. Have they got another one?
Yeah. Don't think New York.
I don't know then. 1999.
Yep.
Touring doing Sweet Thursday. I wouldn't have a... don't know.
Anybody else?
Is it the GRP big band?
No, it's the Smithsonian Masterworks Orchestra.
Hey, David Baker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately has just given away your second answer, because I was going to ask who wore the magnificent toupee and conducted the band.
Was it David Baker?
Strangely enough, it was.
Wow.
There's a lot of toupees in this quiz, isn't there?
Can't think why. Right, Alex, no toupees as far as I can tell in this one. In whose big band were you playing on the album Birthday of the Cool?
Ooh, big band.
Yeah.
Birthday of the Cool? I don't... Oh. Was it the Echoes of Ellington?
Well, it's that sort of band with that sort of leader.
Oh, is it the Dizzy Gillespie-Arna? Gillespie-Arna, was it?
I think you get half a point for that.
Of course, it's the green cover.
It's the green cover.
Oh my God, you know what? That was the Phoenix recordings, was it not?
It was the Phoenix recordings.
Oh my God, I should have known.
We got the call the night before because they were trying to keep the studio open. So had the local MP coming down from a visit and they didn't have anybody in. They wanted to make it look busy. So they said, do you want to bring a big band in and use this recording studio for free? So they managed to cobble a band together and made the Birthday of the Cool. It was fun.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's a good album.
It's all coming flooding back like a broken sewer.
Right, Alex, talking of that, which noted singer did you work alongside together with Robin Asplund and Steve Brown?
That was the lovely Anita Wardell.
Was indeed, and that album won a 2006 BBC Jazz Award when they still had such things.
It's incredible. You know, the desk crashed 3 times. We had to replace the actual whole mixing desk 3 times in that studio. That was highly stressful, that, I remember.
You obviously didn't get it for free when the MP was coming round.
No.
Right, Alan. Who saw a lot of bits of paper floating about on the Charles River when he tried to fire his baritone player?
Now, the baritone player was Serge Shaloff,
Yes,
so that would be Woody Herman.
it would be. And what, which couldn't be managed with social distancing, was Woody's revenge?
He got him in a crowded bar and pissed all over his leg.
Correct.
Again.
He had a habit of that, didn't he? Didn't he also do that to the agent that ripped him off in a big society party?
Obviously,
That was one of his things. That was one of his little...
He's quite territorial, Woody. You always knew where he'd been.
According to Hannah, he always had two $10 notes in the top pocket for when he got pissed. So for the two guys who put him to bed.
right, Ian, your introductory question. So, with which valve trombonist, who was a psychologist by day, did you and I first play together in the end of the 70s?
Oh, you mean Hugh Stockbridge?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
An extraordinary man.
Yeah, that band was one of my first ever experiences of getting completely blasted, actually. I think it was with Denny Eilert Sr. We got smashed on strawberry wine at Larworth Cove on a folly in the middle of a lake, which was where we'd been booked to play. And that was amazing. Spent the night rough, sleeping under a marquee there.
Yeah, most of Hugh's gigs had that kind of tail ending. Anyway, which drummer's earth-moving equipment includes a thud?
That'll be the great man, Bill Bruford.
Yes, indeed. And why would it include a thud?
Well, that was a tune I wrote for the band. It was supposed to be like one of those, when you watch Batman, it always went pow, thud, bang, and things like that. So it was a little bit like a Batman tune, so it got called Thud in tribute to the Batman comics.
Brilliant. Right, we're now coming to the round called Old Stuff. So we're going to start with Alan. In the land of hi-fi, who would you ask to dog my cats?
Oh, that's a Cannonball Adderley album, isn't it?
It is indeed. Very good. Do you know who actually wrote Dog My Cats?
Well, was it his brother?
No.
Was it Oscar Pettiford?
No, it's the arranger on the session that was Ernie Wilkins. Yeah. Who played baritone saxophone on that album? Can you remember?
Cecil Payne.
No, it's the other one.
The other Payne.
No, it's not Payne. It's...
Oh, Christ. There's another one, is there?
Yeah. Instead of going to the post office, you might go to the...
Till. The...
Nearly there.
Till. I don't know.
Danny Bank.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, there's a bonus question. You might claw it back here. Thinking about that album, which young pianist who had a self-titled tune on that album moved on from the Adderley Band to join Dizzy Gillespie?
Young is the clue.
Yes.
That's not his name, though, is it?
No, but it's very close.
Went on to join Dizzy Gillespie from that band. I know, Junior Mance.
Yes, absolutely right.
Who still went under the name Junior at the age of 89. Amazing.
Still going strong.
Is he?
He is indeed, yes.
Yeah.
So, Pete, this is another quotation for you. Who was a fly-by-night guy, but for a certain maiden who was quite the right-so-right guy?
Have a clue?
It's ducal.
Yeah. No,
It was written for a very special occasion.
Oh, man. It's down there somewhere, bubbling away.
Anybody else know that?
Just remind me of the question, Alan. What was it?
So, who was a fly-by-night guy, but for a certain maiden was quite the right-so-right guy? And he made a very special approach during the song.
Is it Romeo and Juliet?
Not quite.
Oh.
Right, I'm going to put you out of your misery on this one. This is the song called Moon Maiden, recorded for ABC television, where Duke Ellington sat in front of a model of the lunar module on the day of the Apollo 16 landing in July 1969.
Wow! Damn.
So what was
Come on, Pete.
what was the historic first about that television broadcast?
Duke Ellington, the lunar landing.
Yeah.
Was it that it was 24 hours long and live or something?
Well, it could have been. No, the song was 10 minutes long, but it's the very first time he sang on any kind of recording.
Good God.
I didn't know that at all.
God, I thought your insatiable bank of Ellingtonian curiosity would have led you to discover that.
Well, it's a large bank. Even my deposit account doesn't go all the way around the safe.
Ellington sing. Who does Ellington sound like?
He sounds like himself talking, really, but there is a bit of pitch inflection in there.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, come on, Pete, this is your bonus one. You might get this one. Why were Duke's Spacemen a set of cards?
Why were Duke Spaceman was sort of the 9-piece band he ran.
Yes, but there's a number on the Cosmic Scene album that's specific to them.
I don't know.
Anybody else know?
It's not Full House, is it?
No, it's something that perished the thought. Spacemen on the Cosmic Scene album was originally called Three Trumps.
Oh, God.
So I just thought that might be...
There might have to be.
Right. Well, Ian, not so quite old stuff, but picking up on the theme of lunar landings, what did you have to do with lunar music and A House by the Sea?
I think you're alluding to a film score that I wrote for Dave McKean.
Called?
Luna, L-U-N-A, Luna.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thinking of films, and one we mentioned in a recent edition of Jazz Lockdown, Some Like It Hot, which saxophonist, who was uncredited on the original soundtrack, but played on it alongside Dave Pell, is the star soloist on Barney Castle's recording of Some Like It Hot?
Alto or tenor?
Alto. And he played clarinet on the soundtrack of the film. Alan ought to get this one.
Is it?
Wildly.
Go on wildly, Alex.
Is it Phil Woods?
No, it's Art Pepper.
Oh,
Right. I didn't know that.
So, Ian, another one for you. Which bassist, composer and bandleader ran the workshops that encouraged some members of what would later become Loose Tubes?
That's an easy one. That was Graham Collier, bless him.
Right, absolutely. Alex,
yes, sir.
which tenor saxophonist was due to play with Benny Carter's band at the Moulin Rouge in Las Vegas in 1955, but somehow missed the gig and was found the next morning in the desert outside the city with his neck broken?
Oh, wow. That was Wardell Gray.
Yep.
Apparently, it was actually, it wasn't his neck broken. Apparently, he was. They couldn't find his head. He was beheaded, allegedly.
Well, his neck was broken, but not quite unusual.
Yeah, the neck was actually in pretty good condition.
Yeah. So, sticking with tenor murders, which tenor saxophonist who grew up with Ornette Coleman in Texas and went on the road with Lionel Hampton was stabbed in New York in 1971, fatally, whilst trying to carry an air conditioner into his apartment?
Oh.
Well, he grew up with two tenor players, and it has to be one or the other. If I tell you it wasn't Dewey Redman.
I don't know.
King Curtis.
Oh,
Yes.
And what did King Curtis have in common with Benny Hill?
oh, was he the guy who played the Benny Hill theme tune?
Originally, the original solo is on a record by the Coasters.
Sax.
Yep.
Was it? Oh, I thought that was Boots Randolph.
Well, Boots Randolph took the King Curtis solo
that's
and
right.
reorchestrated it as a solo thing, but in the Coasters record, that chorus is King Curtis.
It's the theme tune. Was became the acting
Yep.
section. Yeah.
Right. Ian,
Yes, sir.
which pianist has an interest in nocturnes and visions?
British?
Yep.
Would that be Dominic Aldis?
No. Might be someone who lives a little bit further west than that.
Nocturnes and Visions. Mike Westbrook.
No, you're thinking of the wrong bit of west. Anybody else know?
Is it Dave Newton?
No.
Is it Keith Tippett?
No.
Wow.
It's Hugh Warren.
Ah.
Right.
Of course, I should know that, actually.
Now, Ian,
How far west was he?
see if you can pick this one out for us. Who came out of a farmer's market to help play a waltz for Sonny Rollins on a small receiver?
You're talking about Stian Carstensen.
I am indeed. Well done. Can you just explain why?
Well, Stian Carstensen's an amazing Norwegian musician that I met about 20 years ago. He plays accordion, pedal steel guitar, violin, guitar, button accordion, and the kaval, which is the Bulgarian traditional folk flute instrument, which you blow offset like that. In fact, when Michael Brecker died, Stian was teaching Brecker how to play Caval by Skype or by, over the computer, because he was interested in that. The other thing I can tell you about Stian is that he's the only person I know who's been pulled over and busted by the police for practicing violin whilst driving. And in Norway, you've got to bear in mind that the car's a left-hand drive. So the traffic cop saw the stick coming in and out of the window as he was behind him. And he was thinking, like, what the hell's this guy doing? So when he pulled him over and spotted the violin on the back seat, you could see the guy, he was completely stumped. He wasn't sure what to do him for. He knew he had to bust him, but he couldn't tell which category. So he's like, oh, hang on. It's nothing for violin whilst driving. Perhaps I can do you for due care and attention, or something like that,
Amazing. Well, going back to that piece, which was called Waltz for Nuke, which British songwriter did Sonny Rollins admire and played one of his songs every time he appeared in London, particularly on the 2009 Barbican concert?
Oh, it was the guy who wrote To a Wild Rose, was it? Edward?
That wasn't the song I was thinking of.
Okay.
The song I'm thinking of was Someday I'll Find You. Alan, looks like you might have got this.
Noel Coward.
Yep, Noel Coward. When I did that jazz library program with Sonny, and I asked him about British music, he told me how much he loved Noel Coward, and then he said he really liked the theme to EastEnders, and he thought he was going to play that on his next London concert, and he ended up singing the theme tune to The Archers.
Yeah, he played the Archers at the Barbican concert, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What was the reaction to that?
Everybody knew what it was.
Everyone automatically
They didn't recognise it.
Radio off.
Right, Alan, your turn. Which drummer with Sonny Rollins' trio had something in common with the First Iraq War and also practiced as a lawyer?
Well, Pete LaRocca.
Yep, Pete LaRocca. And would you like to explain why?
Why he played the drums?
Well, you could.
Why was he like the first Gulf War?
Yeah.
LaRocca. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, he made an album called Basra.
Oh, did he?
Yep. And he was known in the trade as Lawyer Pete Sims. That was his real name. And he gave up music in the 60s and qualified as a lawyer, financing himself through it by being a New York cab driver.
Ah.
Wow.
Anyway, right. Joe Henderson is the soloist on Basra. When Joe signed to Verve in the 1990s, which composer was the subject of the first of those revival albums for Verve made that decade?
He did about 3 of them, didn't he? So I think Billy Strayhorn was the first one.
Yes, that's right. For a bonus point, can you think of the others?
There was the Miles one. Was it
Yep.
called Miles Smiles? And there was a third person he did.
It was
Who the
called
hell?
Double Rainbow.
Oh, yeah, it was Jobim with 2 different rhythm sections. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the bonus point for that. Great. There is actually another bonus. That was just a bonus. Which guitarist who died last year appeared on a 2 million selling album with Stan Getz?
Charlie Bird
That wasn't the one I was thinking about. Died last year.
died last year.
Joao Gilberto?
Yep. Yeah, well done.
Brilliant.
Right.
Alan, can I ask something? Sorry, can I quickly grab my charger? Is that allowed?
Yes, it sounds like a double entendre, but please do.
Just give me 1 second.
Is it stabled outside?
I used to nod off to CFAX sometimes because it has some pretty good stuff on there as well.
Well, before we all nod off, Alex, it's your turn. So which Cuban-born...
Revealing my childhood, yeah.
Yeah. Which Cuban-born saxophonist has currently stacked up 12 Grammy Awards?
Oh, is that Paquito de Riviera?
Yes, that's the man. And which Cuban pianist, who was his mentor, appeared at the Barbican in 2017 in duo with Gonzalo Rubalcaba?
Is that, was it Chucho Valdez?
Yes, well done. Now, which bassist appeared on Rubalcaba's first American release for Blue Note, which came out under the title Discovery, recorded at Montreux, and renewed the acquaintance on 2015's album Tokyo Adagio?
I don't know, but I'm going to guess Dave Holland.
Good guess, but not quite right. Anybody else?
Not Ron Carter, was it?
Nope. Charlie Hayden.
Oh.
And I think actually it was Montreal, not Montreux.
Oh, well, that's what threw us.
Yeah, absolutely. my spelling is not all it could be when things begin with M-O-N-T. Right. Pete.
Montrux.
Which singer, who's the daughter of another well-known singer, could belt out a tune and was best of friends, a Valentine even, with Jules Holland?
Natalie Cole.
No, I did say that she could belt out a tune.
Sam Brown.
Yes.
Well done.
I'm not quite sure where the belt thing comes from, but never.
It was Sam Brown belt.
Oh, is it?
Yes, Alex's collection
I
of
thought it was a hat.
videos presumably got one of those.
Military gear, isn't it?
Yeah, no, her song was Valentine Moon, and it was on Jules' album Best of Friends, on an adjacent track to you, Pete, so I thought you might have picked that up.
Mm-hmm.
Who told you that for marketing purposes, things were always easier to sell in threes?
Oh, lots of people. I guess my business studies A-level teacher, Brian Griffiths, doesn't really feature in this, does he?
He is the right answer.
Is he? He's famous! Mr. Griffiths!
Oh, dear.
And with which three did you put that into effect?
With which three?
Yep. It's a show of yours.
Benny, Duke and Peggy.
That's the one. And I think that's got us through that round. So now it's the picture round.
Oh.
So who is the inebriate gentleman?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he likes Tio Pepe.
George Wettling.
No. He's a very significant figure in jazz who wasn't actually a musician.
Ah.
That's not Teo Macaro, is it?
No. Well,
Charles Delaunay.
it's not Charles Delaunay, but it could be his best pal for quite some time and then his mortal enemy.
Oh, yeah, he fell out with... who did he fall out with?
This bloke.
Yeah, I know that. Wasn't called Hughes, was he? No.
Hugues.
Is it Hugh Panassier?
Say.
Yeah, Pete got there first.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Yep, that's Panassier. Right, this is an easy one. Who's the man in the pork pie hat?
Leslie
Young.
I think you all get a point for that.
Yes.
Right, now, this is who are the three dudes in this picture?
Oh, it's hard to see. Is that Russell Procope on the left?
No,
That looks like Sidney Bechet almost.
it is Sidney Bechet. Point for you, Alan.
Brett Stewart.
Yes, point for you. And he's not wearing his toupee.
Oh, Heinz.
Oh, Heinz.
Yes.
Ah, damn.
2 for Alan, one for Pete. And a bonus point. By what name is the session that was taken known? One of the musicians there doesn't appear on the track that gave the session its name. Think Bechet, think trios.
It wasn't that blues. Is it a blues?
Yes.
It's I know the tune. What's that called?
Bechet Blues.
No, you're right, Alan. It's blues in thirds. I'm going to give you a half point for singing it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Now everybody who's the regular panelist can take a rest. It's the Iain Ballamy round.
All
So
right.
You've got to get 10 points out of this. So let's see how you do. In the early 1990s, Nick Hutton had a band that you were in alongside Nicky Isles on piano and Steve Arguelles on drums. What was the name of the band?
Straight Face.
Yep. On your 1995 album, All Men Are Men, or Amen, all the tracks were written by you except one called Further Away. Who wrote that?
That was by Django Bates.
Right. On your 2007 album, Molecular Gastronomy, a duo with the drummer Thomas Stronan, which other member of Loose Tubes was a special guest on that record?
Ashley Slater.
Correct. Now, You composed music for the film Mirror Mask in 2005. Which Welsh actor starred in that and went on to have great success more recently alongside Steve Coogan in The Trip?
That's Rob Brydon.
Yep. Now, in 2015, you performed a concerto originally written for which tenor player, composed by Sir Richard Rodney Bennett?
That's an easy one. Stan Getz Concerto 4.
Yeah. Who shared a sauna with Randy Weston at the Staffelstein Thermo Baths near the Czech border?
It was me and John Paracelli, I think.
Yeah, you're going to enlighten us about that story?
It was very funny because right down in Bavaria, right down the bottom, I went to a yearly music meeting called Grenzüberschreitungen, which means border crossings. And I attended for several years, and we discovered that just over by the Czech border, there was a wonderful sulfur spa called Staffelstein, and we used to make a trip there. And on this particular occasion, I'd etched into my retina is the image of Randy Weston sat there, and then John Paracelli sat there, and then the lady with the clipboard like Nurse Ratched coming in and saying, "Nicht verboten," because he was somehow or other sitting not on the towel. And then when he sat on the towel, he was like 1 centimetre over each side, and then she came in again and started screaming and saying, "No, das ist verboten," and all this sort of stuff. It was quite terrifying. But
Two taps.
it was because we were all like completely naked, and there's this fully clothed, scary lady in a white sort of outfit with a clipboard.
Well, let's leave that traumatic sight behind with the next question. So which brothers were alongside you cracking eggs while studying hermatology?
That would be the Mondaisies, Mike and Mark Mondaisi.
Yeah. Which band accompanied by Nicky Isles, Steve Williams and Steve Gilbert featured a baker's dozen?
Oh, that would be to do with Fred Baker, will it?
Nope. It's more to do with what number a baker's dozen is.
13.
Yep. So that rhythm section and 13 what?
So remind me the question again. What was it?
Which band accompanied by Nicky Isles, Steve Williams and Steve Gilbert featured a baker's dozen?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm out.
Sax Assault.
Right, I'd forgotten. I thought it was all saxophone. I'd forgotten. That was Andy Scott's band, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. So you get a point for Andy Scott, and then you're going to get another point for any two of the rest of the band, the rest of the other musicians, the other 11 that were playing saxophone on that album.
Well, it was John Helliwell.
Yep.
And what? Am I allowed to say Andy Scott?
No, because you've already said him.
Okay. John Helliwell and... Oh, yeah. And the Schofield.
Correct. And you have matched the Ken Poplawski 10.
Hey!
Hey!
Yeah, that is very well done.
Thank you.
Right, now, this is the final bit where we ramp up the scores, and basically it's a question of shouting out the right answer, and I might or not hear you. So we just have to hope for it. Right. West Coaster Hampton Hawes recorded 3 classic trio albums in the mid-50s. Chuck Thompson was on drums. Who was the bass player?
Leroy Vinegar?
Red Mitchell.
Red Mitchell, Alan, correct. Red worked on both sides of the state's west and east coast before spending his last 25 years in Stockholm. He recorded several duo and trio albums with a pianist and arranger in the mid-80s. What was his name? I went to see them at Bradley's.
Not Phineas Newborn Jr.
Nope.
In Stockholm.
No, he lived in Stockholm, but he would come back to the States and work with this character. And as I say, I saw them in Bradley's in New York in about 1984 or 5.
Not Jimmy Rolls, was it?
No, it wasn't. Jimmy, I think by then was pretty much on the West Coast.
Elmo Hope?
No, I'm going to give you the answer to this one. Roger Kellaway.
Oh, all right.
Kellaway wrote the music for the West End stage show Lenny. Who was the alto player who played and acted in that show?
Pete.
Equal for Pete and Alan there.
And me, actually. I was his deb.
Really?
Do you expect a half point for
I
that?
think they did
Pete?
it because there's only 2 letters different, and it's easier for the accounts department. It'd be the only reason.
Brilliant. Peter King played the opening night of Ronnie Scott's in 1959. What age was he then?
17.
19.
19.
19.
No.
Well done, Pete. I think you just got there first. Which 19-year-old alto player was runner-up in the British Young Jazz Musician Awards when he was 13?
Sean Payne.
Sean Payne is correct. Right. In 1964, Cecil Payne recorded Stockholm Sojourn with the International Jazz Orchestra. Who directed and conducted the orchestra and wrote most of the material?
Francie Boland.
Nope.
Let's say that.
He's a bit of a chatterbox. Plays tenor when he's not talking.
Jimmy Heath.
Nope. This one's still with us.
Oh, it's
Benny Golson. No.
Benny Golson.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
Now 91, Golson's contributed many of today's standards. What was his tribute to Clifford Brown called?
I remember Clifford.
I think Pete just got there first with that one. Right. A 25-year-old Clifford Brown died in a car accident after leaving a gig in Pennsylvania. Where was the band going to?
I think it was coming back to New York, was it not?
If it was one of the other big cities on that side of the States, which one might it be?
Oh, Atlanta?
Philadelphia.
No. Further north.
Boston.
On the lake.
Boston. Yeah.
On the lakes.
Chicago.
Yeah, Alex, well done.
Oh, well, surrounded it.
Which pianist lost his brother in that same car accident?
Bud Powell.
Oh.
Yeah. Well
Yeah.
done, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Bud recorded Bud in Paris in 1963 for Reprise.
Paris. Oh, no.
I gave you that bit. Who produced it?
Pierre Michelot?
No. The producer of the album happened to be in Paris.
Quincy Jones.
Was it Rudy Van Gelder?
No. This is one that the captain ought to get with his hat and his spectacles.
Hang on, I think I've got the answer in that. No. Who produced
Count
it?
Basie?
The other one,
Duke Ellington.
yes.
No way.
Really?
Yeah, Duke Ellington produced it because that's when they were making that film in Paris.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Who was Duke Ellington's fictional female leading character in A Drum is a Woman?
Madame Zage.
Correct. Madame Zage was meant to represent African rhythm. In 1966, which was the first African country that Ellington actually visited after, in his own words, writing African music for 35 years?
Was it Nigeria?
No,
Ghana.
no,
Tunisia.
no. Got another
Egypt?
70 or so to go.
Senegal.
Senegal. Who said it? Ian, you're right. Right. At that concert in Senegal, Ellington had written a piece especially for his visit featuring Harry Carney. What was it called?
La Plus Belle Africaine.
Pete, and who said that in... Was that Alan? Yeah, you were kind of in unison there. So I'm going to give you both a point for that.
As close as we ever get.
Yeah,
Not my fault, mate.
close enough for jazz.
Been
Carney
working on it, Pete.
Carney was 17 when he joined Ellington's orchestra and stayed for 57 years. Which year did he join?
Who's that?
Carney.
Carney. 28.
25.
No, not
26.
quite as far as that.
27.
Yeah. Who was born in 1927 to a saxophonist and bandleader by the name of Joseph Schatt?
Ronnie
Ronnie
Scott.
Ronnie Scott.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's one all round on that
Oh,
one.
Ian got him first.
Sorry, who did?
I think Ian got him first.
Right.
By a hair.
We'll give Ian the point on that one.
Nearly shot
Right.
myself.
Which award did Scott receive from the Queen in 1981?
CBE. OBE.
OBE.
Oh, was
That's
it?
the one.
Well done.
Who received an award of any kind in this year's honour list in the jazz world?
Tracy.
Cleveland Watkins.
No,
Nobody?
correct.
Oh,
Trick question.
Like it.
In 2019, in addition to an OBE, who was the first jazz recipient of the Queen's Medal for Music?
Louis Armstrong.
What, last year?
Oh, sorry. Oh, last year.
Already had an OBE.
Brian.
And he got what? The Queen's?
Queen's Medal for Music, and it's very unusual. That
Bill Ashton.
No. But somebody who's also done a lot of work with youth musicians.
It's John Ruddick.
No. I'm going to tell you, it's Gary Crosby.
Oh, well done.
Who's the pianist in Crosby's New Civilization Orchestra?
Is it Elliot Galvin?
Not at the moment.
Oh,
This person works with Daniel Casimir quite a bit.
Sarah Tandy.
Yes. Very good. Which other female pianist was born in Miami, grew up in Birmingham, studied in Cardiff, and now lives and teaches in London?
What?
Born in Miami.
Yep. Grew up in Birmingham, studied in Cardiff, lives
Not
and teaches.
Andrea Vicari.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Married to bassist Dorian Lockett. Where do he and his brother Mornington originally hail from?
Isle of Wight.
Yes, very important at this moment in our epidemiological history.
Is that the epicenter now, is it?
No, it's where the tests are going on to see if there are any triffids.
Oh.
It's tomatoes and garlic there. That's what
In which year did Miles Davis play to 600,000 people at the Isle of Wight Festival?
62.
71.
Down from 71.
70.
70.
70, Pete. Yes, good guess.
Good.
No, no, guessing.
And now to close this first series of Jazz Lockdown, of course there will be another series coming up soon, like a London bus. In answer to some of our regular viewers' requests, a question in 6 parts concerning the Jazz Lockdown theme tune, which astute listeners will have heard 5 times, well, 6 times by now, because it's on this episode. So, who wrote and performed it?
Is it a Stan Tracy Big Band?
It is the Stan Tracy Big Band. Which year do you think it was recorded?
I don't really know, but it sounds like a later one.
Say 1982.
It's a really early one.
Wow.
1958.
A bit later than that. No, it's 66.
66.
Yeah. Where do you think it was recorded?
Landon.
Well, it was London, yeah. I'm not even going to give you half a point for that.
Lansdowne.
No.
Decca.
No, you might have to go across a zebra crossing to get there.
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. I think Alan and Alex equal there.
Wow.
Right. Who took the tenor solo on the piece that we hear?
Is it Bobby Wellens?
That's the other tenor soloist in the band at that time who wasn't Art Freeman.
Tony Coe?
No, it's Ronnie Scott.
Oh, was it really? What?
Yeah. And anybody know the title of the album, which followed hard on the heels of Under Milk Wood?
Oh, not Alice in Jazzland, is it?
It is.
Yeah.
I like the way whenever you come up with the correct answer, you always say it's not. I ought to say, no, it's not, Alan. But
Well, if you want to be pedantic, Alan, I'm sure I can match you.
yes, every step of the way. So, given the appropriateness of Jazz Lockdown, anybody know which track on Alice in Jazzland our theme tune is?
Little Kaplunk.
No.
What's the tune called, you mean?
Yeah.
Is that close to it?
No.
Right.
It's what we're doing with every one of these episodes.
Is it called Distancing?
No, it's called Murdering the Time.
So it's called Self-Isolation.
On which note, I'd like to thank you all. So thanks very much to our regular panellists, Alan, Alex and Pete.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for our award-winning level top guest scorer, Iain Ballamy. There will be a second series coming up soon in which our guests will include Liam Noble and Julian Arguelles. But for now, from me and all the panellists,
What
on
were the
Jazz
scores?
Lockdown.
What were
Well,
the
I suppose who's won?
Whoa, scores? Who on earth wants to know that? Right.
Scores mean prizes.
I need another
mine in the post.
chocolate. I need another chocolate.
In
You
fourth
said it's a mini
position-
metro if you win.
In fourth position with 9.5 points is Alex.
Yes.
In third position with 10 points is Ian. In second position with 15.5 is Pete. And in top position with 19.5 is Alex.
He's won them all. He's won every one.
Oh no, you were equal last time round.
Yeah, I know, but he still won. I think we should have a statue made to him.
Splendid.
You get
And
like,
also, how are we going to resolve the Ballamy-Poplowski standoff?
We're going to have
What
to ask
means
them
is
back.
the duel going to take? What do you think, Ian?
well, I don't know, a rematch maybe?
A rematch? Yeah. Wrestling?
Yeah.
Or we split the £1,000 prize two ways.
I'll tell you what we might be able to do.
Is it
Clark and
only
I will have a
1,000?
chat about this. We might get you both back in one of those little circles on the side of the screen.
That'd
and
be
you
good.
can have a quiz off. Right. Well, as I say, thanks to everybody. And when we come back with the second series, there will be a new feature in the quiz to replace some of the tried and tested sequences of questions that we've had. So look forward to that and see you again soon. Thanks very much.
Bye.
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 That was Jazz Lockdown, a series of programs devised by Clark Tracy and presented by Alyn Shipton, with Pete Long, Alan Barnes and Alex Garnett, and special guest Iain Ballamy. You are invited to donate as little as £1 towards each show, which will be equally divided between the contributors, with 50% of the total amount going to Macmillan Cancer Support by following the PayPal link below. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to your company next time.